Okay, so real quickly, let's find the surface area of this one. We're going to have a front and a back, a left and a right, and a top and a bottom. Okay. Hands up if you got 92 centimeters squared. Perfect. Let's go on then. Surface area of a cylinder, you guys remember what the formula is?
2 times pi times root squared.
Good. So 2 pi r squared. What is that finding?
The top, the circle.
2 circles, top and bottom. Okay. Plus what else?
Pi.
2 pi r h. And this is the rectangular middle. Rectangle in the middle. So 2 pi r would be like the length, and the h would be the width. So it would be length times width. Okay. Here we have the 2 parts. I guess you can just move that down below. Okay. 2 circles plus a rectangle. Now when we're doing with our formula, please write it out. 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi r h. They're going to make you do that in university. Most of you are going to go there, so suck it up and get used to it. 2 pi times the radius plus 2 pi times the radius times the height. Okay? And always double check the radius. They don't like to give that out. Okay? So the last thing you're going to do is the addition. Find how many pi's you have at the front and the back. Don't use your calculator at all, please. Don't need it. Final answer, Amna.
66.
Awesome, 66 pi. That would be units, meters squared. Now, if you're doing this on your calculator, remember it's 66 times pi. Okay, and you can get me your decimal approximation. Good. I'm not going to bother doing that because I trust you all can use your calculator. Okay. Make sure you use your pi button. Next one, real quick. This is exactly the same as one you've done before. Go ahead, find the surface area of both parts. Actually, you know what? You guys are honors. Do we need to do this one? No. Okay, good. Turn it over. Okay. Good. So, this is our starting shape right here. Okay. It's this type of block. Now what we're going to do is we're going to cut that into 2 blocks. One's a triangular prism up top, and the other one is a rectangular prism down below. So what we're going to do for us, just to get started, again, there's more than one way to do this, we're going to find the area of the prisms as if they were separated. Okay. So we find the surface area of the rectangular prism, find the surface area of the triangular prism. Then we have to find the overlap, step 2. Okay. And what is the overlap? Well, what shape is it? Yeah, rectangle. How many are there? 2. This one gets covered up, and that one. That's the key. There's 2 pieces overlap. Okay. All right. Get going. Go for it. Let's see what you can do. A and B. Work through it.
you just change one of the overlaps and you can use two?
You do have to use both. Okay, because they're separate shapes and they're both covering up the same shapes being covered up in
Just
both.
times it by two.
Exactly. Did I not times it by 2? Oh, thanks so much. Back here, 136.
Why didn't you get
I think it's 68.
Yeah.
2 more? No, 4
Well,
more.
they're times equal. We're doing it different ways. I don't know how we're doing it.
Because what I did, instead of taking each rectangle here and multiplying each one by 2, and then add, I'm adding then times them by 2. So I'm going different way of doing it.
Oh, so he's doing the not taking out the overlap?
We do that at the very end.
Oh.
Okay, yeah. So if you didn't get 136, maybe you took out the overlap early, which is good because that's a smart thing to do, but we're not quite doing that way. Okay? And the reason more is for tomorrow and some other reasons. There are other reasons, okay? But for some shapes, like you're going to see later on in these notes, that's the way you should do it. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, I went pretty fast. Two cylinders. Now, I'll just show you by the end, you're going to like 20 pi minus, 20 pi plus 13 pi minus 5 pi, something like that. Okay, that's what's going to happen. Because all we have is cylinders. If we had some other shapes other than cylinders, then you'd want to go to your decimal at the end. Try not to give me decimals early. And if you do have to give me decimals, give me 4. Don't round to 1 decimal or 2. It won't be accurate. So give me lots of decimals. All right, so surface area of the top cylinder. Surface area equals pi r squared. 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi r h. Go for it. Find the surface area, please, of that top cylinder. Be careful of the radius and diameter connection. Go.
I got 118.
For which one?
So the first one I got 98, and the second one I got 182.
Okay, sorry, which you talking this answer here?
Well, yeah, I got both of them differently.
Okay, let's have a look at your work. How are you guys doing with this? Working through it? Okay. Okay, folks, the overlap. Right here, I'm coloring blue. What is it? It's a cylinder?
No, it's two circles.
Two circles. Okay. So find the total area of overlap. You can use area or surface area, it doesn't really matter. But it's pi r squared times 2. Need some help?
No, I used 14.7 for the overlap.
Oh.
I used the diameter instead of radius because I'm smart. I'm really tired and my contacts are bugging me.
So you're getting grumpy is what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, no problem.
No, I'm just kidding.
Can you go fix your contacts? Just let me know.
No, it's just like they blur every once in a while. I can always do that.
Oh, really? Do you need new contacts or something, or just from new
No, they're
time?
new. I got them used.
Oh, interesting.
That's when I got contacts.
Hey, final answer 538 pi. Hands up if you got that. We're on your way. Okay, so some people are still finishing. Finish that off. Now the one down below, have a look at the question and read it. It's different. Yep. We'll talk about it in a second. No, it's up.
How do you convert pi into centimeter squared or the other way around?
You don't. What you do is you just multiply it. So you
Okay.
so now you do have to get a decimal and give me about 4. Okay, so you go 156 times pi. Give me about 4 decimals. Sound good?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so looking at this barn, what have we got? What shapes have we got? Yep.
Half cylinder and a rectangle.
Kid, half cylinder plus a rectangular prism. Now, the rectangular prism's a little weird. Okay, so B, find the surface area of the top object. Once you get to like 20 pi, what will you do at the very end? Yeah, divide by 2. Okay, so then you get like 10 pi. All right. So I just lied to you. Who came up? Who's just up? Keegan? So I thought that you were looking at something else. You will tell me how many pies there are. Okay. Good. And now C.
To the one on top. Or 0.
538 pi. Okay. Now for C, find the surface area of the bottom prism, but don't include sides not needed. So because it's a real object, it's not suspended in space. So if we're going to paint this barn, we would not include the floor. Okay? Because the objects overlap completely, you won't include the top. We're doing this differently, aren't we? Okay? And this is how in real applications you do a lot of your surface area calculations. You just calculate the exposed surfaces. Okay? So let's go back up here to the cylinder, so the half cylinder, find the surface area of that one.
Same that divided by 2.
Yeah, do exactly the same, divide by 2 at the end. Go. we'll go to 2 decimals.